Meanwhile, the handouts, well, they just keep rolling out to Europe, but a new warning today that if Greece goes down, a bunch of these guys will go down with it. If another bailout using U.S. money is needed, my next guest says good luck getting it. Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers renewing calls to stop all U.S. contributions to the IMF, now still surrounded in scandal. Congresswoman, what kind of reaction are you getting?
Oh, we just introduced the bill. We're looking for co-sponsors, and I'm very optimistic that the reaction will be positive. And what we want more than anything is transparency and accountability from these European Union countries. The IMF has authorized hundreds of billions of dollars, 100 billion to over 100 billion to Greece, 100 billion to Ireland, 100 billion to Portugal, and much of that is U.S. taxpayer dollars. And as has been mentioned, we're borrowing from China in order to bail out these countries. And so our legislation would say until these European Union countries start stepping up and making the changes that it would take to even join the European Union, we're not going to continue to participate. And we're urging the Obama administration to stop supporting these bailouts.
Well, I don't know if that's going to happen so fast, Congresswoman. I admire what you're trying to do. But last night at Fox Business Network, which, Congresswoman, if you don't get, you really should demand, but I digress. I was speaking to the acting director of the IMF, John Lipsky, who said that their policy will not change, that they're still looking closely at Greece, still looking closely at Ireland, keeping a very good eye on Portugal. When I raised the subject of whether any of those countries might need more money, I think I'm paraphrasing here, we're at the ready if they do. In other words, nothing changes. So what do we do?
We must deliver the message that this is not a blank check, that America is not giving them a blank check. In order to join the European Union, their debt to GDP ratio is not to be more than 60%. Their deficit not more than 3%.
By the way, our country wouldn't pass that measure, but that's besides.
That's true. It further begs the question why we're borrowing money in order to help bail them out. We have to change the borrow, spend, bailout policies.
Well, are you recommending disbanding from the IMF and the World Bank? We are its biggest contributors, both of them. And these international lending agencies sort of get their oomph from us. When it comes to these European rescues, we shouldn't be a part of it?
That is not. This legislation, what it says is that until these countries take these steps necessary to meet the criteria that is laid out to join the European Union, then we're not going to be bailing them out. It is saying that they have to start living within their means. They have to start making some tough choices. Stop, borrowing, spending, and this bailout cycle.
You know what happens, ma'am, when they do? This is the kind of dust-up you get in Greece and all that. They don't like the onerous provisions. They revolt. They protest. They're throwing Molotov cocktails in worse. So whatever medicine is recommended is rejected. And it's like a cycle.
Well, America, we don't have, we're facing very difficult decisions here in the Congress. We've been living beyond our means. And unfortunately, this has become the culture all around the world. And we've reached that tipping point. We've reached that point where we can no longer afford it. These countries can't. And we got to start making some tough decisions.
Congresswoman, very good having you on. I'm going to watch this closely. It's very interesting.
Yes.
Thank you again.